Welcome back to Presentations, Module A, Part 2. So we're going to pick up on slide 26. This is to what you would press to present your show, your slideshow. You can click the Start from Beginning slideshow button in the Quick Access toolbar from the Slideshow tab on the ribbon and then choose From Beginning. So it starts with slide 1. Or if you were currently on slide 9, you would click from current slide. Also on your screen at the very bottom in the status bar is another option to start your slideshow from the beginning. And there's one more. On the control function keys, you could press F5 and that would start from the beginning. If you wanted it to start on the current slide you were on, let's say slide number 9, you would press and hold Shift and then have F5. And that'll get you on the current. So F5 by itself will start it from slide 1. If you were currently on slide 9 and you press Shift F5, it'll take you from there. To advance to your slide, you have options that appear when you're in showing your presenting view. You don't see it, you have to hover over to the bottom left corner to actually see the icons. And you have where you could go back, advance, you could also, there's other features for editing, zooming in, and then this is the one, the 3 dots here for more options, and that is what this up here, these options here, so you could also click next or previous or last viewed, see all slides, zoom in, so far. Presenter view is the one that we'll discuss shortly, that is pretty neat. You can also advance slides by just pressing the space bar or the arrow keys. So if you wanted to present, so you have a lead computer in front of the classroom, and you want everyone to see your presentation. So you would put the slideshow in F5 or slideshow from beginning, and then you would go to the 3 dots on your lead computer and choose show presenter view. And what would happen is on your screen only, you would see the current slide you're on, you would see the upcoming next slide, and if you had any notes that were reflective of the slide that's showing, you would have your notes here. What your audience sees is only this main slide full screen on the projection screen. You would see this on your monitor, your laptop. So you could actually, so if you see someone keep looking at their screen, it's because they're probably looking at their notes or looking to see what the next slide is. So this is presenter view. Your audience doesn't see any of this. This is all for you. And then you can also advance to the next slide here. It would be the main slide. Then you'd see the next upcoming and your new notes. So presenter view is pretty awesome. It also has features if you wanted to use a pen or highlight something within presenter view. So normally when you first open a brand new blank presentation, everyone will have this as their first and only slide called title slide. And then from there you can choose any of the slide layout options. Probably the most common is title and content and to content. Title, you would just have a title up here, and then you could have some bulleted items. What's nice about the to content is you could have a title, so a bulleted item list, and then a picture or graphic or table on this side. Because again, you want to have less words and more pictures and graphics to keep the attention of your audience. You wouldn't want to have just a whole huge paragraph of text that's small and hard to read, so less is more. Placeholders, and again, let's say you chose blank and you decide, oh, I just don't want a picture, I want to add some text. You would put in what's called a text box, and then it would be one of these boxes here, and you can put it wherever you want, enlarge it, make it smaller, whatever you'd like to do within a blank one. So just because you choose a certain layout, you don't have to, you can adjust it, you can make changes to it. Just something a starting point. So to get a new slide, the new slide button has two parts to it, the top part and the bottom part. If you click the top part, you're going to get the second slide, which is title and content. And if you keep clicking that new slide, you're going to get the same one over and over again. If you wanted a different layout, you would choose new slide with the arrow. Remember, arrow always means more options, and then you could choose the layout you want. But if you stick to the top one, you're going to get whatever your most recent slide layout was, that will be repeated. Another way you can get a new slide is Control M. So for this one, again, you have your slide 1 was a title slide, and then slide 3 was probably 2 content, and then you wanted a slide in between. You could click on slide 1 and it would go right below slide 1. If you were on slide 3, it would go below it. So whatever you're currently on, it goes below it. So within your new slide, you have little icons that appear, and each one is a quick way to insert. This would be a table, so you could actually have a table within here, a chart. This is Smart Art, and the newer versions have more options, and the next one would be called 3D models, and this is pictures, and then you have what's called stock images. And stock images are images that are available through Microsoft Office and Bing. They work together, and so stock images are provided by Microsoft Office that you have access to as royalty-free photos, illustrations, animations that you can use without having to worry about any copyright concerns. You also have, besides the stock images, you have video and audio, and the newest version of specialized icons that you can add to your presentations. So again, to change your layout, you could be in a title and content and then decide for slide 2, I don't want that one. You would go to layout and choose a different one, and it would change it. If you were to go here, what you would do is you'd get another slide. So if you just want to change up a current slide, go to the layout button. This is what it currently is, and you would change it to something else. This one would give you a completely another slide. There also is another amazing new feature called Design Ideas. So once you're working on a particular slide layout and you're typing your title and your content, you put any images or graphics, all of a sudden it'll pop up on the right-hand side window pane, Design Ideas. And there's usually a scroll bar, and you can go through and pick other design styles that you think would fit with your presentation, which is pretty neat. They give you some pretty cool ideas that you maybe not even thought of. Again, to add a new slide that will repeat the previous slide, it would be the top button or Control M. If you wanted a new slide and you wanted to pick the layout, you would click this with the down arrow. If you're in a current slide and decide you want to change the layout, you would click this layout button and change the layout. Organizing your slides, you can put them in different order by just holding and dragging up, or you can go into slide sorter mode, whatever works best for you. But you can move them easily right on the navigation little thumbnails. You can move them from there. You can duplicate slides if you want to repeat the content or repeat a picture. Instead of copying it and going to a new slide to paste it, just duplicate the slide. Copy would do the same thing, but duplicates pretty fast. You could also delete a slide. Slide sorter, again, like I said, you can move it from here in the navigation, or you can go to view and from slide sorter where it shows you all of your slides, you could move it around from in there. Copy and paste, just like you would in Word. Copy, If you want it between 9 and 10, just click between it and you get a bar across the screen, and once you click paste, it would go right between 9 and 10. Customizing your layout. So these are placeholders. And once you type, you just click and type. It may say click title, or you would just click there and just type whatever you want. If you want to make any changes to the current placeholder, when you're typing in it, it has the dotted dash. If you click on the border, it becomes solid. Then you can actually resize using the sizing handle on either side. And you can also use the, if you want to increase the size of it here as well. But in order to make any changes or to move it, it has to be solid. So you just have to click the border of the placeholder, and then you can make changes or sizing adjustments. To, if you were on a blank slide and you wanted to create a, type in information on a blank one, you would need a text box. So you just click Insert, Text Box, you get the crosshair and you just drag and make it as big as you want. You can always adjust it later. But that's if you were working, or even if you had a two content and you wanted to add one more little box of information, and you could place it with your 4 arrows and drag it to a different location within the slide, you would use Text Box. So you just like you would in Word, you have your copy, which is right in the clipboard group, your cut, and your paste. And remember your shortcut, Control-C, Control-X, and Control-V. And also remember your clipboard. So try not to use the delete button on the keyboard so that it'll always be placed in your clipboard window. Drag and drop, this is my favorite feature. So if you had your list here and you wanted to move social opportunities to underneath companionship, you could do the cut and then click down here and press paste, or just hold and drag it down. You get the little box right underneath the arrow if you're dragging it down. Now remember, if you wanted to keep social opportunities here and bring a copy of it down here, while you're dragging, you would hold Control, and that way you'd keep it in both places. Just like you would in Word, if you wanted to make any changes to the placeholders, the content, the text, it's in the Home tab in the Font group. You can make all your changes. Your clipboard, this is the new slide group within PowerPoint, and then the paragraph, and there's more on the other side. You can always check your spelling on your PowerPoint. You could do it by clicking Review and choosing the spell check. In the newer version, it'll probably be labeled Editor. You can right-click on a word and select from the quick right-click menu. This, you could also, from the slides, if you have the open book with an X in it, you can click that. That'll open up the spelling and grammar editor, or your function key F7. And it shows you the word misspelled, and you have your options. It's usually, but not always, the first one, and you can change. And then when you're finished, it'll say spell check is complete. Slide themes. This is an amazing feature that, because when you first open your presentation, the blank one, it's called its Office theme, so there's no theme. It's just like a canvas, all white background, and it's up to you to click this down arrow and see all the options that are available so that your entire presentation will have the same theme throughout. And as you hover over each theme, you get a live preview of what it would look like on your current slides if you have some slides already. And they also are named. So if you hover over them, you'll see the names of them. So what is a theme? A theme is how you want the background to appear. It usually has a theme throughout all the slides. They also have primary colors, and the palette is very colorful. And you also have fonts that are particular to a particular type of design that you choose. The font's styles change, and also the size of the font changes. The layout of the slide changes. So you notice this one, the title's in the center, where on this one, the vapor trail, it's to the